This time we're talking about the visualizer. So this is a singleton and basically visualizes the B-sphere, or in the future whatever collider volume, I guess, for the user so that they can see how it lines up. We have a queue of commands for objects that want to have their B-sphere shown, a default color. We have one sphere to use. We are not making new spheres all the time. And then we have process commands. And show B-sphere, if we move into the visualizer, simply creates a new command and pushes it back for later use. These commands are under the collision commands, and as you can see, we have the matrix and the vector, just the world matrix and the color to use. Set fields so that we can change it up, and then execute, it just calls render B-sphere. So going back to the private render B-sphere, you can see we set the world to the appropriate matrix, set the color, and then we render it. And that's how we visualize all of our little spheres that we'll see later on. You'll see also that when we process all of our commands, during the draw step, of course, we are executing them, we recycle them, and then we just pop it from our little queue. So first, let's talk about how this happens within the scene itself. So if we go into our scene base, within the draw step, you'll see we process all of our 3D elements, and then this is where all of the visualizer commands get executed, popped, and the sphere gets drawn over and over and over again. And then we go through and draw 2D elements, and we'll talk about 2D later. This technically exists, it's deprecated, but I'm just keeping it here for now. It doesn't really serve much of a purpose anymore, since we draw it here. And this is not called, so just a heads up. Anyways, moving over back to the visualizer, we have, as I mentioned, a factory and a pool. This is just a standard factory setup. You know, it's a singleton, we have our pool, create and recycle, and then going over to the pool, we have a list of all the pending commands, all the recycled items. We can get and return commands, and then when it's all over, it just deletes all commands everywhere, no matter where they are. So that's fairly straightforward.